Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a kind of special, fun video. My birthday is coming up this weekend, and unfortunately, you know, I have to work, which I guess is not like a big thing anymore, because I think as adults, like when you're a kid, your birthday's such a big deal, you don't want to work on it, but as an adult, like 9 times out of 10, especially, or I guess I should say, 5 days out of 7, your birthday's gonna fall on a weekday, and you know, people with normal 9 to 5 jobs have to work them anyway. I think it's just because I have to work like every other weekend that I'm a little bummed out. But anyway, so I have to work on my actual birthday, and Megan and a couple other of my girlfriends were sort of asking what I was planning on doing for my birthday, and I don't tend to make my birthday a big thing because, like, long story short, when I first got out of university, all I wanted for my birthday that year was for, like, all of my girlfriends from university to come to, you know, my hometown, which, you know, was not far. Like, I think most of the girls were from Toronto. I only live about an hour outside of Toronto. I had places for them to stay. I asked them months in advance. They all said yes. And within, you know, from a month prior to literally the day of, every single one of them bailed on me. I'm not actually in touch with any of those girls anymore. The only 2 people that were there that made everything okay was Megan, of course, and my best friend Courtney, who now lives in BC. So I never make a big thing on my birthday, and this is the first year in a long time that I've had like multiple girlfriends ask me what I'm planning on doing. So I'm going to dinner with them tonight. I'm super excited about it. So I thought that we would do like my birthday kind of makeup here. Now I'm just gonna get going and I'll talk you through kind of what my plan is. So my face is super dry right now, so for a primer we're gonna use the NYX Hydratouch Primer. This is a really, really nice sort of, like water-based primer. Makes your skin feel so refreshed, which I desperately need right now. It does feel like a little almost slimy when you first put it on. Like, I don't want to say it feels oily or greasy because I don't think that there is any oil in here. The ingredients aren't listed on the bottle. They are probably on the website or whatever, but I'm sure water is one of the big ingredients in here. It doesn't feel drying. I don't even know if there's, I'm just trying to smell it. There might be alcohol in here, but the thing is alcohol is very drying, especially if you think of things like rubbing alcohol and that kind of thing. It is a very, very drying substance, so I can't imagine why they would put it into a water cream, but you never know. So today I figured we would go with something sort of glowy and light and easy on the actual face part. I'm also just using my Tatcha, the silk canvas, to cover up a few problem areas that I seem to have. But what I was thinking is doing something kind of light, glowy, you know, nothing too crazy on the actual face, and then kind of play up the eyes a little bit. Nothing crazy, I don't think. I pulled out, like, literally all of my Huda Beauty 15 pan palettes. I didn't realize until today they all actually kind of go really nicely together. So we've got, like, the new Nude, the Naughty Nude, the Mercury Retrograde, and the Desert Dusk palette. I don't know that we're going to use all of them, but I kind of wanted to go, like, those deep, like, purpley burgundy kind of tones and maybe work some smokiness in there. Some glitter, I think. For glitter, I've got a bunch of the e.l.f. Liquid glitter and liquid metallic eyeshadows that we're going to try out today. I've never tried them before, so I'm really looking forward to that. So for foundation today, I really wanted to mix in some of these iconic London Illuminator drops. And I know that when you mix any kind of illuminator drop with MAC Studio Radiance, it really, really takes to it very well. So we're just going to go with that today. So this is the shade N1. It is the lightest shade that I have. I have everywhere from like N1 to N5, I think. I might even have a C. I don't. At one point, I think I had a C, which is like cool. So N's for neutral, I think, and C is for cool, and then W is for warm. So I'm just putting a couple drops of the illuminator into a squirt of the foundation, and then we're just going to kind of mix that together, and it should give us a really, really pretty, like, glowy kind of foundation look, which is what I'm going for. I always love to look glowy. I haven't done this in a really long time, either on my channel or, you know, just in life. So I thought it would be a fun day to do that. It is, like I said, it's not my actual birthday, but it's about as close as I'm gonna get to like having a birthday celebration with my friends. I am trying to get off work a little bit early on Saturday so that Tom and I can spend some time together, and then his birthday is next week. So we're trying to do that, but you know, it is a busy time at my work, and unlike a lot of other workplaces, and I think that this is the most difficult thing that I have to try and explain to friends and family, particularly when it comes to like big events like Christmas and stuff like that, is my work has a legal requirement to have a certain number of people there at all times, and if we break that, we're breaking the law. So it's not just like when I worked at the restaurant, if I wasn't there or if somebody didn't show up or somebody was sick, we're just a little short-staffed and it made life difficult. Like we literally can't go under a certain number. So unless you have, you know, somebody there to cover for you, you can't have the time off. And I think that that's really difficult for some people to understand. Even Tom, I feel like, doesn't totally have a grasp on it sometimes because it is such a rare thing. For example, he has a friend that is getting married a couple weeks after us, and it just so happened that it falls on a weekend I don't have to work, so we got very lucky. And I made a comment about that, and he was like, well, it's my best friend, so you would have to take it off anyway. But unfortunately, my work just does not work that way. It just doesn't. So I am dragging this down to my chest. I'm just hoping I don't like seriously dye my shirt all of the color, just because I am seeing an inconsistency with the color on my face and the color on my chest. I'm also taking my beauty blender and just kind of buffing out any of those harsh lines that may have been formed from dragging the brush along. And I'm kind of just dragging it up into my hairline as well, because I am thinking about putting my hair up later. I haven't decided yet. It's being pretty cooperative right now, so it might stay down. But if I put it up, I don't want there to be like a line where my hair was covering before. So for concealer, I of course have my MAC, this isn't MAC, my NARS Soft Matte Concealer. That's where I got the MAC from because I was thinking matte. So I always like to put a nice layer of this down first, particularly under my eyes, because my eyes are, I'm going to bring you guys just a smidgen bit closer, so you guys can already see like how much that's done to cover up. You know, I know some of it was already previously covered by my foundation, but it just gives a really, really beautiful brightening effect. It doesn't crease on me. I definitely could just use this concealer, but most of the time I do go in with something a little stronger as well, more often like a liquid concealer. Today we're going to be using my Hourglass Vanish concealer. This is one of, there goes a bunch of the eyeliner pencils I was thinking about playing with today. This is one of my favorite concealers. It is very expensive, so I don't know that I would necessarily like push this sort of a product on you guys. But if you do have it, or you have the means to get it, or it's something you've been thinking about getting, I do think it is very, very worth it. I think it's a fantastic concealer. It doesn't settle out weird. Really, really nice product, just expensive. So while I let that kind of tack down a little bit, we're going to use my Charlotte Tilbury. This chair is brutal. I really need to like invest in a new chair. The problem is that we have it sitting on like a plastic mat so that you don't like dent the carpet, and the mat is so worn down in certain places that it just always slides back there. Makes it really difficult for me. So anyway, I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat in the shade Taupe. I really, really like this. And another thing I really like about this particular product is you spend, you know, Charlotte Tilbury is not cheap. You spend a fair bit the first time you do it, but it is refillable. So once you know your shade and you have the physical housing for the product, you can just buy the refill time and time again after that, and you save quite a bit of money. Like, I think it's like almost half the price, which is crazy because it means you're paying half the price for like the spoolie and the plastic. But still, like, I think that's a really, really great idea. I think it's very, very like conscious of recycling. And realistically, even if you got the wrong shade the first time, but you used it up and got the right shade the next time, it would just mean that the housing doesn't match the color inside. But realistically, as long as you know what color it is, I don't think that really matters. So now I'm going to go back in with that beauty blender And now that that concealer's had a little bit of time to dry down a bit, just makes it easier to blend out without blending away, in my opinion. It's just something that I've found kind of easier. It does make it a bit harder to work with because it is drying down. So if, you know, you're new to doing makeup, maybe don't wait as long. It will be easier to blend out right away when it's fresh. I'm gonna pull you guys back out a bit. But having said that, you know, again, like I said, sometimes I find that you can blend it away too much. I don't know. I feel like I'm not like in... It's weird because I knew I needed to film today and I knew I wanted to film today, but I just feel like I'm not all here right now. I don't know if my mind is on like other things that need to get done. I don't know what's going on, but I'm having a really hard time with like words right now and saying all of the things that I'm meaning to say. It's just not going great for me. So for a setting powder, I'm using the Beauty Bakerie, I gotta be really careful when I lift this, flower setting powder. So it is translucent. Normally I would use my Laura Mercier setting powder. It is my favorite, but I've got a few others. I finally used up my one container of my Laura Mercier setting powder, which is awesome. It's like the second or third one I've gone through, and I do have a backup. But I want to use up some of these other ones before I get into a new one, because I think from now on I'm just going to stick to the Laura Mercier. I don't think I'm going to be trying out other ones, because even though this one, for example, is really nice, the Huda Beauty ones are kind of nice, I just prefer the Laura Mercier one. So for a bronzer, I picked up this Physicians Formula Butter Donut Bronzer. I've already worn the little sprinkles off of the top, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful like light bronze, absolutely perfect for this time of the year. Goes on so, so nicely. No orange cast to it, which is really nice. It has more of like a yellow undertone, but I find that like while I'm sure you could over apply, it just really warms up your face. Very, very buildable, very easy to work with. I love butter bronzers. I think they're fantastic. And I didn't think I would ever see these ones in like a store near me, but then they finally showed up. So I picked up the donut one and also the sugar cookie, which has the pink in the middle. And just again, I'm just kind of making sure to pull my hair back so that I get it up into all of those lines. Just like that. Okay. For a blush color today, again, I'm wanting to stick with something on the more neutral side. So we're going to go in with MAC Warm Soul. This is like my favorite holy grail blush. I just love it. It has a little bit of shimmer, a bit of a color to it, but because it's a little bit more neutral, it just sort of warms up your cheeks. Really, really pretty. I don't wear a ton of blush, but this is one of my favorites. I also have taken recently to kind of continuing up and over my nose, and I don't know if that's in part because I do have a naturally very red nose, so it just is more keeping in line with my face in general, but I have enjoyed doing that lately. Now I want to try and go in with this Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I love this. It's just the most beautiful subtle highlight, but if it doesn't do enough for me, we are going to go back in with MAC Soft and Gentle, so let's just sort of give it a light little... See, and I just think that's just beautiful. It's just like a kiss of a highlight, a kiss of a shine. You can always really see it on your nose. And with this one too, what I really like is there's no glitter, there's no any of that, no sparkle. It is just the most beautiful, like dewy kind of a highlight. So the last thing I'm going to do before I run and wash my hands, I'm going to apply my MAC Painterly Paintpot so we can get ready to do some shadow work, and then I'm going to go wash my hands, come back, and we're going to do that. This is my tried and true. I do also have my Too Faced glitter glue on the table if we need it, but since I'm planning on using a liquid glitter, we might be able to get away without it. So I'm going to go and give my hands a little rinse, get some of the makeup off it, and then we will come back and figure out what we're doing with our eyes. All right, I'm back. I'm ready to kick my camera, of course. standard of my life, I'm ready to go in with some of these Huda Beauty palettes. So as I said, I think we're just going to play with the Mercury Retrograde, the Naughty Nudes, and the New Nudes palette. They kind of all have like similar, like, trying not to drop them on the floor because that would be a disaster. They all have sort of like similar-ish vibes to them, especially these two. But then the Mercury Retrograde also has like this sort of section of the same kind of colors. So I think we're gonna play with these three today. And you know, because they are all the same brand, they should blend really, really well together. I haven't played with any of these palettes in a long, long time. And I'm in a point right now where I'm debating doing another declutter either at the beginning of next year or at the end of this year. So I really need to get use of some of my palettes and decide what I really, really, really enjoy using, what still inspires me, and what doesn't anymore, and get rid of some. So out of the Mercury Retrograde palette, we're going to pick up the color Crash, and I'm going to just use that to lay down a bit of a base in my crease. Once again, this chair is wheeling all over the place on me. Try and move the camera a bit. Okay, so hopefully that's okay. I've shifted everything slightly over. Hopefully it hasn't made a big difference to you guys, but it has made a bit of a difference to me and where I'm sitting. So like I said, I'm just going to take that. Now these are very, very powdery shadows. The mattes are anyway, so I am just trying to take off a bit of the excess before I go in with the shadow so that we don't end up with a ton of fallout all over our face. That is the one benefit to doing your eyes before the rest of your face, which I used to do and I haven't done it in a very, very long time. I mean, you could also set out a really, really thick layer of a baking powder or something like that flour would work, Laura Mercier translucent powder, but then you end up brushing it all away. So I just sort of find it a waste of product, which is why I don't do it. Because as much as I have all of this like high-end makeup, keep in mind, you guys, any makeup that you see, I either paid for myself or it was given to me as a gift. I don't get PR, I don't get free samples, I don't get anything like that. So unlike a lot of beauty gurus, like I'm not willing to waste product. Not saying that that's what their intent is, but I think that they maybe have a bit less of a like mindset towards that because they have so much makeup and they know that it'll easily be refilled. The next color we're going to use is, let's do the color Secret out of the New Nudes palette. It's kind of like a mix between a brown and sort of a purple color. I feel like I used to wear purples all the freaking time and then I just sort of stopped. So let's get back into that a little bit today. I haven't done it in a while and I want to have some fun here. I want it to be, like I am just going out for dinner, so I don't want it to be too crazy, but still really, really fun. You know, I don't get to wear makeup all the time because of, again, I could wear it to my work, but I just don't see the point. So because I don't get to wear it all the time, when I do wear it, I want to make it, like, fun. You know what I mean? Now let's go into, okay, I think, I'm really torn right now. We're going to go into Rough, which is in the Naughty Nudes palette. We're getting into some of the browns again. We're really just building here. I'm keeping that one more on the lid, less in the crease, but still following that crease line. Just kind of dragging that all the way across. And again, it's not covering the whole lid, it's just following the line of my eye crease and kind of just dragging across the top of the lid. So there is still like a ton of gap all right here. Just like that. We're starting to get into some of the deeper tones, so I'm finding that like I'm having a bit of a difficult time in these palettes finding like a tone between that and the darkest ones. I'm sure there are a few. I just don't really know where to go. Let's dig into the color Tease. This is back in the New Nudes. This is a really, really dark kind of gray-y purple. So that we're just going to focus completely on the outer corner, and I think that this might be the color I buff under my eye as well. It's just a really, really kind of dark, smoky, sultry sort of a color. Very unique color as well because it's not quite purple, but it's not quite gray. It's sort of somewhere in between. So let's take a sort of fluffier pencil brush. I've never used this brush before, so that's also kind of exciting. dust it off a little bit and kind of just drag it underneath. Maybe need a little more. I always have to be careful with colors I drag underneath, especially when I am getting into like the pinky kind of family and the red family, because for me, personally, I find that anytime I drag any kind of red or anything like that underneath my eye, it makes my eyes look really, really bloodshot. It's sort of doing it now to me, but I think that once I get a liner on there, I might be okay. I hope so. Now, for the darker colors, I do kind of want to get back into more of the browns, less so the purple. So let's use the color Raw. So again, that is in the new Nude. Build up that corner again. A little bit along the lash line there. And then on this side. Like that. And now we're gonna get into probably the darker colors, or the darkest color. So I think I want to use the color Spicy. It's in the Naughty Nudes palette. It's like a really beautiful, beautiful, like deep, warm brown, but it does have a bit of a purple kind of edge to it. So I'm gonna use that for my darkest color. I built so much eyeshadow up here that I'm like having a hard time seeing it. There it comes. And I'm just doing very, very like light dragging motions into my crease to kind of make it look more seamless. So I kind of dot it in place, drag it out towards my lash, and then in really, really light feather movements. Like you'll see, like I only really use 2 fingers on a brush. I don't know why you would use more, but you know, just really, really light. And if you need to use your pinky to sort of anchor onto your face, that's a really, really good idea to do as well. It'll just help you have a bit of a steadier hand. Just like that. So I am going to drag a little bit more up here for this one because I find that they're not completely matching. Like that. Now we are going to use some of the shimmers out of the palettes as well as put a glitter topper on. So we're going to have very, very shimmery, shimmery eyes today. Okay, so that's out of the Naughty Nude palette. Let's use the color Shameless and kind of just pat that down. And then I'm going to go in with a lighter metallic shadow or glitter shadow to kind of give us like a center highlight on the lid. And then we are also going to go in with a lighter color right in the corners of our eyes for some real nice highlight. So in terms of a lighter shade, I pulled out a handful of the e.l.f. ones that I thought would work really nicely. I think we're going to go with, that's a metallic. I'm just sort of deciding, do I want a metallic or a glitter? So, I think that's too similar. Let's do a liquid glitter shadow, and we're gonna do it in the shade Flirty Birdy, and hope that this is enough of a contrast. I've never used these before. I've only ever swatched it on my hand, so hopefully this goes well-ish. Just gonna kind of really, really load it up in the middle of my eye, and then pat outwards. So that we get like a bit of like an inner highlight. I'm hoping you guys can see the difference between one eye to the other. I'll get kind of closer. This one just has a lot more shimmer. This look did not go the way that I wanted it to. Not that it looks bad. I think I just thought that it would be a bit more dramatic, and maybe that's on me, and maybe that's also because I haven't added, you know, liner yet. I might put a lash on just because why not? Wow. Either this has a lot of fallout or I touched my hand to it. So I think I need to go wash my hands off again before I do anything else touching my face, because we're going to end up in an issue. Okay, so before I completely walk away from my face, I do want to use a bit of a liner underneath. Now I pulled a bunch of purple liners thinking that that was kind of where I wanted to go. So let's use this ColourPop Trick or Treat liner. This came out in the Hocus Pocus collection. So I just kind of want to dust it lightly along my lash line just a bit. And then I'll kind of blur it out with my finger a little bit. These are really, really nice, affordable eyeliners, which is really nice. I always recommend the Urban Decay one, but these are a fraction of the cost. So I really quickly want to just put something kind of brightening in the inner corner. So out of the Naughty Nude, I'm going to go into Flower Power, and I did just kind of dip my finger closer to the areas. Because it's a swirled shadow, I'm going to show you guys super quickly. It is this one right here. Because it's kind of swirled, I did get a little bit more of the lighter side than the champagne-y side. And I'm just going to pop that right in my inner corner for a really, really pretty highlight. Really stands out quite a bit. Now for eyeliner, I want to use a black eyeliner. We're going to use the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner because that is the first one that I reached for. I don't wing liner. If you wing liner, this would be a good time to do it. I am going for a bit thicker of a line because I do want it to be a little bit dramatic. Sometimes when I go for a more natural kind of a look, I want a line that's a lot closer to my lash line. That I'm also, oh, you know what I should have done? I have a eyeliner that is supposed to be like a lash adhesive. I should have tried that out today. Maybe I won't do fake lashes. I don't know that I want to fuss with them. I was thinking about it, but never seems to go well for me. So there we go. Those match pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to curl my eyelashes really quickly, and then for a mascara, we're going to use the Tarte Maneater mascara. Now I'm going with that one just because it is a newer mascara to me. I'm still kind of playing around with it, seeing how much I like it. I do like the brush. I like the volumizing effect. I find it also has a separating aspect to it, which is really good for me because my lashes do tend to kind of clump together a bit. So I'll grab that one. I'm debating putting a light eyeliner in my waterline just to really, really make my eyes stand out and pop. So I might have to grab something for that. So I have this like really, really light shimmery eyeliner from NYX in this shade Periwinkle Pop. So I think we're going to just try that. And it's doing exactly what I hoped, which is a little just shimmer, not so much more purple. But I'm really liking that. I think the eyes are all pulled together now that there is a liner and a mascara. So we're going to let the mascara dry. And while that's drying, we are going to put on a lip product. All right, so for a lip liner today, also please excuse, I split my lip. They're just super, super dry. It's just that time of year. We're going to use an XO Beauty pencil in the shade Tracy. Now, I also like to fill in my lips a bit, and that's just for even wear. But you don't have to do that. And then I've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Trouble. I think this was like the first one I ever bought from them. I don't wear ABH lip color a lot, and it's because I do find it very drying, but this was the exact color I was trying to go for today. If I still had it, I had the Graveyard Girl, I think it was called Texas Toast or something like that, lip line or lip color from Tarte a while back. I loved that color. It was like the perfect like gray purple sort of a tone. So these dry super, super, super quick. So what we're going to do just to give the lips a bigger, kind of fuller, glossier look is go over it with a butter gloss. So this is the Butter Lip Gloss in Cinnamon Roll. So it's a similar kind of purpley color. This is already completely dried down. Just like that kind of gives us just these bigger, juicier kind of lips. And I think that that looks really pretty. And so the last thing that there is to do is just set our face. So to do that today, I'm going to use the Tarte Double Duty Stay Spray. Is that what this is called? Double Duty Beauty Stay Spray. Hopefully my lashes are dry enough that I don't end up with mascara all over my face. And we'll call that done. So I will list all of the products that I used down below. The look didn't come out exactly how I wanted it to, and there's a part of me that feels like the lips are a little bit too dark, but I'll see how I feel throughout the day. I don't have to go out for dinner for a couple hours, so I do have some time to make some changes. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. Did you like the look? Maybe not, you know, just be nice. Thanks for hanging out with me while I got ready for my birthday dinner, and if you're not already and you want to be subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.